Shabbat Shalom, Mayafer Hayom. Shabbat Shalom, Mayafer Hayom. Shabbat Shalom, Mayafer Hayom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Mayafer Hayom. Shabbat Shalom, Mayafer Hayom. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Together we will sing, Enter, O bride, come my beloved to greet the bride. The Sabbath presence, let us welcome Boikala. Boikala, 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 Boikala. Boikala, 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 Boikala. Lech Adoni, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Ticha. Boikala, 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 Boikala. Boikala, 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 Boikala. Lech Adoni, Likrat Kala, Penei Shabbat Ticha. One more time. Boikala, 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 Boikala. Let's sing together a song that says, there was evening, there was morning, Vahi Erev, Vahi Voker, Tov Ma'od, and it was good. Vayar Elohim et kol asher asa, vehine Tov Ma'od. Vayar Elohim et kol asher asa, vehine Tov Ma'od. Vayar Elohim et kol asher asa, vehine tov me'od. There was evening. There was evening. There was morning. There was evening. There was morning. Vahi Erev, Vahi Boker, Tov Me'od. Vahi Erev, Vahi Boker, Tov Me'od. Vayar Elohim et kol asher asa, vehine tov me'od. Vayar Elohim et kol asher asa, vehine tov me'od. There was evening, there was morning, there was evening, there was morning. Vahi Erev, Vahi Boker, Tov Me'od. Vahi Erev, Vahi Boker, Tov Me'od. And finally, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. This is a song that I wrote for Temple Akiba years ago, Shabbat Shalom U'Mevorach, and I'm always so proud to share my music with Temple Akiba, and wishing you all a Shana Tova, a Shabbat Shalom. Together we're going to sing Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom.
Wherever possible, be interpreted as provide.
Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Mevorach. Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Mevorach. Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Mevorach. Shabbat, Shalom, Mevorach. Shabbat, Shalom, Mevorach. Shabbat, Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Mevorach. 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 Shabbat, Shalom, Mevorach. Shabbat, Shalom, Mevorach. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. U'mevorach. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. U'mevorach. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much, Craig, our song leader emeritus, and Monique. It's so wonderful that you're here, welcoming in Shabbat, welcoming in Rosh Hashanah. It's so good to see everyone. We're about to continue with some more music. Just a little bit of trivia in your chat boxes. When Shabbat and Rosh Hashanah coincide on the same night, which greeting do you do first? Whoever gets it in the chat box first wins 2 million rabbi points. I'll be checking over there. In the meantime, I already see someone in the chat box there. In the meantime, we're going to hand it over to Aliyah and to Kekalani to offer some additional music. Aliyah is our wonderful, extraordinary song leader, and they will be continuing with some music, and then we'll begin our Seder service.
I think the babies are trying to say Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova to all of us as well. So we're going to begin with Hine Matov. How wonderful it is that we are all here together. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
Matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine 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 matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
There we go. Friends, we are so, first of all, the first person to get the answer correct was the Zlotowicz family. I want to make sure that I'm still on here. Hold on one second. Something funky just happened. Okay, there we go. That was just Carol Diamond spotlighting me. Friends, it's so good to have you all over here. The winner of our 2 million rabbi points is the Zlotowicz family. They get to split it between the two of them, so that's 1 million points each for Morris and Elizabeth. When Shabbat and Yom Tov occur on the same night, we always do the Shabbat greeting first. We say Shabbat Shalom, and then either Good Yontif or whatever the other holiday may be. The reason being is that Shabbat, it happens every week. So we always do it with the holy day that occurs the most. But you know what? Whatever you say to us, it's good to see you too. And for those who haven't met him, this is my husband, Ron Galperin. He is the controller of Los Angeles and the Rebbitzin of Temple Akiba. And these are our beautiful twins, Maya and Eli Noah. They're about a year old. You may recall last year, they had just been born at the Holy Days. Friends, we so very much want to be in the same space as you. And it hurts us that we can't all physically be together, but spiritually we're all just a heartbeat apart. And tonight's service, this Seder, is kind of an experiment. We want you to celebrate with joyful foods, and we'll explain it in just a little bit what this Seder means. In a moment, I will be sharing in the chat box a link to the Haggadah that we're using, so you can follow along if you choose. And beforehand, it's my honor to introduce the president of our congregation, Ira Diamond.
Thank you, Rabbi. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and Shana Tova. It is so nice to be here with everyone. It is my pleasure and honor to introduce and welcome our new executive director at Temple Akiba. His name is Jeffrey Rips. Mr. Rips has served the Jewish community in various capacities, mostly as executive director for the past 35 years. And we are so fortunate to have him at Temple Akiba at this time. In addition to bringing much experience and knowledge to Temple Akiba, I really appreciate his warmth, friendliness, and his welcoming spirit. I now invite Mr. Rips to introduce himself. Please help me welcome him, everyone.
Thank you very much, Ira. I am so happy to be joining the Temple Akiba community, and I'm very excited to work with the rabbi and the cantor and the entire team in helping to build Jewish life in Culver City and for the temple. I look forward to meeting everyone at the time where we can join together in the same space. But for now, please introduce yourself. You might be getting a call from me just to say hello. But for now, I want to wish everybody a Shabbat Shalom, a very happy and healthy and sweet new year. And I look forward to seeing everybody as soon as possible at Temple Akiba. Thank you very much, Ira.
Jeffrey, we are so excited and honored that you're here. Welcome to the family. I shared in the chat box a link for those who did not already get the link to our service. Many of the readings will be offered by leadership at Temple Akiba, and we really hope that you can follow along. If you don't have it in front of you, you'll be able to enjoy the various foods that we're going to introduce. So I'm now on page 3. There's no doubt that the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah, differs from the New Year that much of the world celebrates on January 1st. There's no Rosh Hashanah midnight countdown, no party hats, but our Jewish New Year is far from a bore. Our sages established Rosh Hashanah traditions that are thought-provoking, creative, and believe it or not, even fun, even 1,000 years after they were written. How's that for forward thinking? Discover the fascinating history of the Rosh Hashanah Seder, a lesser-known Rosh Hashanah tradition consisting of delicious foods, puns, some word games, and meaningful reflections of the year that has passed and expectations for the year to come. We hope that you'll experience a new, well, actually an old, way to celebrate the Jewish New Year with the family and friends who are in this Zoom and YouTube space. And if you're still pining for those party hats, find a creative way to include them in your Seder if you decide to have one moving forward. The Jewish New Year is at your fingertips. The many names and meaning of Rosh Hashanah on page 4. Usually translated as the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah literally means the head of the year. It's not called by this name until Talmudic times, however, and in biblical days it was referred to as Yom Teruah, the day of sounding the shofar, or Yom HaZikaron, the day of remembering. I think our children are doing a sounding of the shofar right now. According to rabbinic tradition, Rosh Hashanah has 3 major significances. Yay, Maya! It's the anniversary of the world's creation, and specifically an anniversary of the 6th day when humanity was born and almost when Shabbat began. Hold on one second, folks. Oh, Maya, darling. A little bit of a readjustment here. The second meaning, I got it. It is the day of judgment. And finally, it's a day of renewing the bond between God and the people of Israel. Rosh Hashanah opens the 10-day period of the days of awe, which culminate with Yom Kippur. It represents a celebration of the beginning of the new year, as well as a striving for atonement for our misdeeds in the year that's just ended. The days of awe surrounding Rosh Hashanah are days of reflection and judgment, in which we carefully examine who we are so we can become aware of the ways we have failed others, ourselves, and God. This introspection is meant to lead us to feelings of regret for the harm that we've done, to attempt restitution when possible, and to turn away from our past negative behaviors in order to act differently in the coming year. The blast of the shofar, the ram's horn, awaken our slumbering souls to time's passage, to our actions, and more importantly, to how we can shape our lives in the future. We are not meant to be our same old selves year after year, but rather we strive to be renewed. Mind you just go Rabba for a minute? You got her, Rabba?
Yes, I have got her.
Pacifier, very important. Although Rosh Hashanah consists of very serious and reflective elements, it's also an enormously joyous, festive, forward-looking celebration. And what better way to combine these two moods of the holiday than with food? We're going to now continue with Helene Jaffa, who's going to teach us a little bit about the Rosh Hashanah Seder. I understand that Helene is not here, so I will continue. Think Seder's only for Passover? Well, think again. In fact, there are a few Jewish holidays with Seder traditions, and Rosh Hashanah is one of them. Of the Rosh Hashanah iteration, there is an ancient custom to eat symbolic foods at the Rosh Hashanah meal, accompanied by blessings and wishes for the upcoming year. These foods are consumed in a particular order. Those who are or who have been through temple, you know, is the Tu B'Shvat Seder, when we celebrate native trees. So Passover Seder, Tu B'Shvat, and here's Rosh Hashanah. The tradition of the Rosh Hashanah Seder is based on the following early Talmudic source. It appears twice, with a slight variation in bold. Now that you have said that an omen is a significant thing, seeing / to eating leek, beets, and dates. Next, one version to see, one version to eat. Two traditions evolved, one in which those present at the Rosh Hashanah meal ate the symbolic foods, the other in which they merely pointed to the foods and recited the corresponding wishes. They did not eat them. Classical commentators explain that the foods mentioned in the Talmud should be accompanied by wishes or blessings, thereby having a person repent, form good. Is any food whose name carries with it the implication of a blessing. A powerful thought. If this is not related to the Hebrew name for the food. Our next reading, I'm not sure if Stella August is here. Carol, can you spotlight if she is? She wasn't sure if she could make it or not. If not, I'm going to have Ron read this next part. Right here.
The Simanim. As Jewish history developed and the Jews were spread throughout diverse communities around the world, various customs emerged and additional symbolic foods were added, complete with blessings, wishes, and hopes. They have become known as the Rosh Hashanah Simanim, the Hebrew word for symbols or signs. Some of these wishes are based on the symbolic nature or shape of the food. For example, honey is sweet, pomegranates have many seeds, and therefore it's supposed to be symbolic of how we should be able to multiply. Others are word plays reflecting on the food's name. Originally, these puns were based on the Hebrew or Aramaic names of the foods, but local communities eventually invented new puns based on their local languages and dialects.
Did we have pomegranates last year before the kids were born?
Do
multiplied.
not recall. The Rosh Hashanah Seder with the foods mentioned in the Talmud was preserved mainly among the Jews of Sephardi and Middle Eastern descent. However, Jews from other lands too retain the basic concept of serving symbolic foods at the evening meal of Rosh Hashanah.
Thank you, Ron. We're going to now continue with the lighting of our Shabbat and Yom Tov candles. It's in the Seder booklet on page 8, and we invite Carol Diamond to light these candles. And for those who have candles on your tables, we invite you to please light them as well. Again, page 8.
Shana Tova, everyone.
Yes.
All right. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlich ner shel Shabbat v'shel Yom Tov. Blessed are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who has sanctified us with commandments and commanded us to light Shabbat and festival candles.
Thank you so much, Carol, and thank you especially for being our Zoom master for tonight and throughout this whole time since we've been meeting on Zoom. We're going to continue with our Kiddush for Shabbat. Ram will be leading it, and we're on the following page, page 9.
Shabbat Shalom and a happy Rosh Hashanah to everybody. And we have a long version of the Kiddush tonight because it is Sabbath and because it is Rosh Hashanah. And then we have a couple of different wine cups here, actually at our table. This is a beautiful one that was actually silversmithed by Zach's mom. And we have two little ones in the corner that are for our babies. And then this is one of my favorites. It is in the shape of an apple. And because this is the season for apples and honey, we thought we would put that out too. Vayhi vayivoker yom hashishi, vaychulu hashamayim ba'aretz, v'chol tzevam, vaychal Elohim bayom hashvi'i, melachto asher asa, vayishbot bayom hashvi'i, mikol melachto asher asa, vayvarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i, vaykadesh oto, ki bo Shabbat mikol melachto, asher bar Elohim la'asot. Now, by the way, that was just the introduction. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei v'yagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol העם ורוממנו מכל השור וקידשנו במצוותיו. ותיתן לנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה את יום השבת הזה, יום הזיכרון הזה, יום זיכרון תרועה ואחווה נקרא קודש יד מצרים, כי באנו ובחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, קיבלנו ואחר כך קיבלנו לחורך, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ודבר חי וקיים לך. ברוך אתה אדוני, מלך כל הארץ, מקריש השבת בישראל, ביום
Beautiful, Ron. Thank you so much. Don't forget just yet. One of the difficulties with Zoom is that it's hard to sing together. So we encourage everyone to sway with music, to let us know with your bodies that it's coming to your souls. We're going to continue with the Shehechianu, thanking God for giving us life, sustaining us, and enabling us to reach 5781, because I think all of us agree that 5780 is a year we want to fully say goodbye to. So Aliyah is going to be leading us in the Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu l'zman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu
Thanks, Aliyah. L'chaim.
L'chaim. I'll tell you, the 2019 vintage of Manischewitz is really good.
Excuse me, Kevin Knopf will continue on page 12.
Two loaves of challah bread are blessed and eaten at the Rosh Hashanah meal, just like on other Jewish holidays and on Shabbat. The difference, tonight challah looks different from all other nights challahs and contains symbolism. There's a custom to serve a round challah on Rosh Hashanah, representing the circularity of time and the roundness and the fullness of the year, or even a crown, whether it be the crown of God's kingship or the crowns with which he traditionally adorns the people of Israel. Jews of Polish descent have a custom of making Rosh Hashanah challah in the shape of ladders, representing the idea that we will be exalted or brought low in the coming year, or birds based on the verse in Isaiah, like the birds that fly, even so will the Lord of hosts shield Jerusalem, shielding and saving, protecting and rescuing. Then the children of Israel shall return to him. A common custom in the many communities is to dip the challah, normally sprinkled with salt, in sweet honey or sugar. My kids don't dip it, they drown it in honey. When dipping our challah, we might use this Hasidic wish. May God create yeast in your soul, causing you to ferment and mature, to rise, elevate to your highest possibilities, to reach your highest self.
Thank you so much, Kevin. We have a tradition to do Al Netilat Yadayim, the blessing of hand washing. It's on the top of the next page. And then Kevin will continue with the Motzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav Al Netilat Yadayim. Thank you so much, Ron. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God. Thank you, Ron. Who makes us holy with commandments, has commanded us concerning the washing of our hands. Such an important blessing to do considering the pandemic that is out there. Kevin, back to you.
And as is the tradition in my family, we don't just say the prayer. My dad would be disappointed if I didn't sing it in a camp style. So I will do the camp version. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices join in happy chorus as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Thank you so much, Kevin. We are going to continue now on page 15. Excuse me, we're going to continue on page 18, but I want, if you have, thank you, Ron. If you've got the booklet in front of you, just scroll down and sort of see all the different foods we're going to do blessings with. And eventually you'll find yourself at page 18, and we invite our immediate past president, Mike Bauer, to offer this blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei peri ha'etz. Blessed are you, Lord our God, ruler of the universe, creator of the fruit of the tree.
Terrific. So now we need to take a fruit from the tree, and that looks like an apple over here. Thank you, Rob.
And here is
A little bit of honey. I mean, there, that's good. Continuing on page 19, we have the head of our caring community, Lauren Barsano.
Dates, a wish for peace and meaningful relationships. The traditional symbolism of the dates plays on the Hebrew name Tamar, date in Hebrew, which is similar to Tam, meaning to end or to extinguish. This siman requests the end of our enemies and those who seek to harm us. Formulated in the positive, it is a request for peace and calm in the year to come. Eating a Rosh Hashanah meal with a room full of bachelors, bachelorettes. How about the English language? Pick up a date with everyone, a successful year of dating and may it be your will, Adonai our God, enmity will end, and this new year will bring peace for us and the entire world. May it be your will, Adonai our God, that this year be full of joyful dates and meaningful relationships.
Amen. Hear, hear. And continuing on page 20, we welcome Michael Hudson to teach us about pomegranates.
The pomegranate, a wish for good deeds. The pomegranate, which ripens in Israel during the season of Rosh Hashanah, has many sweet seeds inside of it, not to mention some awesome antioxidants. In fact, there is a midrash that states there are 613 seeds in the pomegranate, symbolizing 613 mitzvot, commandments. Whether or not this number is entirely accurate, and it does invite you to count it yourself, I did not. Spiritually, I think it is. The pomegranate has come to symbolize mitzvot and good deeds. May it be your will, Adonai our God, that we be as full of good deeds as a pomegranate is full of seeds. Food for thought. Think about how you would like your life to be filled with during the upcoming year.
Thank you so much, Michael. You totally win with that background. Wow, that took some thought and planning. I really, really love that.
Thank you.
We've got our lovely pomegranate here.
Wonderful. We're going to continue now on page 21, and Mark Bauer is going to teach us about the rubia.
Hi, I'm gonna keep the camera on Max because he's cuter. The rubia is one of the symbolic foods mentioned in the Talmud. It is a bean or legume and usually is interpreted as green string beans. Name is reminiscent of the word yirbu, to increase or to be plentiful. With this simon, we ask that our merits increase and that we be blessed with plenty. At the same time, the rubia gives us an opportunity to remember and acknowledge those who are less fortunate. For their sakes, we wish that not only will this year be one of prosperity and plenty for us, but also one of giving and sharing with others. Not a fan of green beans? Try the Libyan version of the simon for prosperity. Rather than rubia, Jews from Libya mix sugar and sesame seeds to symbolize plenty. Since the grains are so tiny and numerous that they can't be counted. May it be your will, Adonai our God, that our merits increase, that we be blessed with everything we need, and that we share our blessings with others.
Thank you, Max and Mark. And this is where we take the green bean. And we're going to continue now with our VP of Membership, Elizabeth Zlotowicz, who is going to offer a wish for friends and community on page 22. Oh, Carol, is Elizabeth there? Okay, if we can't find Elizabeth, I'll fill in for now on this, but if Elizabeth comes back, then we'll get her squared away. So leeks or scallions? Ron, can you grab the leeks and scallions there? Carti, leeks or scallions, resembles the word, thank you, yikartu, which will be cut off. The traditional wish associated with this food asks that our enemies be cut off together with those who seek evil. Jews of Persian descent tear the scallions and throw them over their shoulders, sometimes reciting the actual names of the enemies that they wish to destroy. Let's all keep this to ourselves right now. For a more positive rendition, this siman may be formulated as a request to be blessed with good friends and community. I see that you're here, so let's cut over to you because you're the one who has created so much community in our congregation. Ah, there we go. Oh, Elizabeth, mute, got it? Is this our miming? This is like Pictionary now. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, all right. I'm hearing you. I'll read this at the bottom. May it be your will, Adonai our God, that those who are against us not succeed, and that we be blessed with true supportive friends and community. And both Elizabeth and Morris, you are the masterminds of creating community for all of us at Temple Akiba. And I'm glad that we got your faces, if not your voices, that were here. We're going to continue now on page 23. Jeff Reynolds, our Vice President of Administration, will be leading us. Okay.
What book are you using?
Jeff, I don't think we're finding you there. So, Ron, if you can read for us here, A Wish for Freedom and Growth. And for those who, I just heard someone ask what book we're using. I'm going to put in the chat box once again the book that we're using, which is the PDF or a download, but people can see this. Okay, Ron, go ahead.
A wish for freedom and growth. The Aramaic word salka, beets or beetroot leaf, resembles the word lehistalek, which means to retreat. Actually, when I was a little boy and my mother was speaking Hebrew to me and she wanted me to get out of the room, she would tell me lehistalek. In this blessing, we ask that our enemies retreat and that we be free from those who wish us harm. If it's hard for you to relate to the Aramaic version, try the English. An alternative siman suggests that we succeed in our true inner beat and path. Yehi ratzon milfanecha, Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu, she'istalku oiveinu v'soneinu v'kol mebakshei ra'atenu, v'shenitzmach v'nimtza charutenu. May it be your will, Adonai our God, that all our enemies who might beat us will retreat and that we will beat a path to freedom. May it be your will, Adonai our God, that our spouse takes his hand away from the text that I'm supposed to read and that we follow our true inner beat and reach our personal goals.
Thanks, Ron. This is a time to be counting our blessings. Counting our blessings. And a true blessing in our leadership is Johanna Besterman, our VP of Development. We're on page 24. Johanna.
Hi, everybody. Shana Tova. Kara, a wish to count our blessings. The kara is identified as a pumpkin or gourd. Kara, similarly pronounced, means to tear or to rend, with a slightly changed spelling. It also means to proclaim. The traditional blessing associated with the gourd asks that our bad decrees be torn up and our good merits be proclaimed. If we think of merits as blessings, then this siman effectively reminds us to proclaim and to count our blessings. Yehi ratzon lefanecha Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu, shetikra roah gezira deinenu, v'yikaru lefanecha zakiotenu. May it be your will, Adonai our God, that our bad decrees be torn up and our merits and blessings be proclaimed.
What a great gourd you got there. And it's good to see Lucas there with you as well, Johanna. Thank you so very much. Friends, we're going to put the Haggadah, the Seder we have aside for just a moment and go out of its liturgy into our own, because it's so important as we enter this new year that we offer a prayer for healing. We need this so very much right now. There's a lot that's broken. There's a lot that's broken. Just before coming on to our Seder, we learned that Justice Ginsburg died earlier today. And I think about all the prayers that we've been offering for her and her family. And now that transitions into prayers for healing so that our world can be feeling just through the sense of loss, that we can be feeling some sort of comfort in this dark time. I think also of Kathy Penzo and her family. Kathy's sister just died today as well. And there's an incredible sense of loss that the Penzo family is experiencing. And although we don't say Misha Berach, or we don't sing this as a Kaddish, as a prayer for those who have died, we say this to give comfort to one another. And we also say this for those who do need our healing. And so as we offer this, perhaps there are people that you know who can use extra prayers as we enter the new year. Physical prayers, mental prayers, emotional prayers. Some way of helping these people to know that they are not alone as we enter 5781. Cantor and Aaliyah will be leading us through these prayers. And if there are names of people that you know, please share them in the chat box so we can see them as a community.
the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Thank you so much for lifting our spirits with light. Tomorrow morning, when we read from Torah, we'll be reading the very beginning of Genesis, creation stories. The first thing that occurred, even before God said, "Let there be light," was there was chaos, tohu vavohu, darkness over the face of the deep. And again, I think that's so much of what our world has been feeling, that we've lost our anchor, we've lost our grounding. And so the very first thing that God said was, Yihi or, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light that it was good. And God separated between the light and the darkness. The light God called day, and the darkness God called night. And that was the very beginning. That was the first day. Friends, our lives are filled with doing something for the first time and harnessing the light. And even in those scary times when it's dark, when it's chaotic, turn one small light on and what a difference it makes. I want to share a story about this. Years and years ago, Ron and I did something called dining in the dark. Maybe some of you have tried this as well. And it's an experience that happened at that time, maybe once a month in a restaurant, where we ate in a building where there was absolutely no light, not dark romantic, not candlelit, but absolutely no light. The kind of darkness where you don't get used to it, you cannot see your hand in front of your face. All the waiters in this particular restaurant, this experience, are blind. And the irony is that they can navigate the darkness in ways that we can't. I thought that it would deepen my sense of taste and smell. Ron thought the same thing, but it actually just made us, the whole experience just made us kind of nervous the whole time. It gave us deeper empathy and understanding, though, for what people who do not have sight might be going through. But one incredible thing happened. At one point during the meal, someone's cell phone went off, and this was before smartphones. This was an old flip phone. And it wasn't the noise that made a difference. It was that little tiny bit of light that the flip phone emitted. And it just shattered, it pierced the darkness. And for a split second, we could see everything from that little tiny bit of light from the cell phone. That's what's meant when God said, let there be light. Because the difference that your light, that your small bit of light might be able to make in a world that's chaotic will tip the scale toward goodness. And that's what the world needs. Don't ever think that you don't make a difference, because you do. And your little bit of light in the world that we're in is going to be a tremendous, tremendous torch that enables us to go into this year with vigor and with strength. Friends, I ask that we all just take a moment silently and think about what we want to bring into the new year that will lead us all toward light. Friends, we're now going to continue on page 25 with a wish for our recording secretary, Verna Erev.
Shabbat Shalom, Shana Tova. Here we could see part of my family. We're all sitting here at our Seder. A wish for positive judgment. The Hebrew word for carrot, gezer, is reminiscent of the infinite ligzor, meaning both to cut and to decree. Therefore, the carrot on the Rosh Hashanah table traditionally carries with it a wish that God judge us with positive decrees. Eastern European Jewish communities have adapted this to a blessing for plenty, since the Yiddish word for carrots, meren, can also mean increase. Yeh ratzon milfanecha ki Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu shetigzor aleinu gzarot tovot. May it be your will, Adonai, our God, to decree upon us good deeds and favorable judgment.
Thank you so much, Verna. So nice to see your family here. And we're going to continue now. Morris and Elizabeth, is your sound back on? Oh no, I don't hear it. Okay, well, this next, if I do the reading, maybe if you have something to show up, I'm not sure. If not, the next one is for fish, a wish for fertility and growth. And the whimsical side of me, I have a choice. I have a Swedish fish, and I have Pepperidge Farm goldfish, and that's what I'll be using for this part of our Seder. Some communities serve fish on Rosh Hashanah as a symbol of bounty and fertility. If you prefer a vegetarian alternative, fish crackers or fish gummy candies will suffice. They'll represent the same theme and blessings for the new year. Yehi ratzon mefanecha Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu. May it be your will, Adonai our God, that we may be fertile and multiply like fish. Now to offer us a wish for leadership, the president of our congregation, Ira Diamond.
Thank you, Rabbi. A wish for leadership. And I'm thinking about Kathy Penso, a great leader at Temple Akiba. Many communities serve the head of a fish or a lamb on the Rosh Hashanah Seder table. Don't worry, no one said you had to eat it. Either of these may represent the wish of being like the head in the new year and not the tail, a leader, not a straggler. The lamb's head, the brains are removed and cooked, also serves as a reminder of the ram that was sacrificed in the story of the binding of Isaac, which is the Torah portion that is traditionally read on Rosh Hashanah. Baghdadi Jews stopped using the fish as a saman because its Hebrew name, dag, sounds like the Hebrew word for worry, da'agah. Yehi ratzon milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu Elohei avotenu sheni hiyeh l'rosh v'lo zanav. May it be your will, Adonai, our God, that we be like the head and not like the tail.
Thank you so much, Ira. Whoops, we took a little bit of poetic license or liturgical license. We used a head of lettuce instead of another kind of head. We're going to now continue. Cantor Lonnie is going to lead us in some music. Cantor?
We continue with the singing of Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu Vaneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu Vaneinu, Ki en banu maasim, aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chem.
you so much, Cantor. Those are the kinds of melodies that I think our hearts are yearning for. Carol Diamond, our VP of Religious Practice, has some words for us. Carol.
Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova, everyone. Welcome to our first ever Rosh Hashanah Seder. What a wonderful experience this has been. Although I would much prefer to be able to see everybody and give everybody hugs, I have enjoyed seeing you all through this medium, and I have been watching, and it's been really fun to see everybody. I would also like to express my welcome, especially to our new Executive Director, Jeffrey Rips. Welcome aboard. Just a few announcements that I hope are of interest to you. A little rundown of what is happening tomorrow morning. We begin our morning at 9 a.m. with our Torah study and Torah service. We will move into our Zoom breakout rooms at 10, and then services will continue at 10:30. We are also still going to be having our children's service at 3 p.m., but we'll be doing it via Zoom and not in. There's no registration, so just go to our homepage on our website and click on the box that says Rosh Hashanah Children's Service. I look forward to seeing our families there. We're also participating this year in something new called the Citywide Shofar Wave at 3:20 in front of our temple. We invite everyone to come out and listen to the sound of the shofar. Hopefully you can walk there or be across the street, and the shofar blow will be really loud. And so everybody come out and hear that shofar blow. It will happen for us at Temple Akiba, in front of Temple Akiba at 3:20. Also on Sunday, we observe Tashlech. We encourage you to come down to Toes Beach in Playa del Rey in the late afternoon, early evening, and throw your sins away with bits of bread. Of course, due to LA's county regulations, we are unable to meet as a group. So if you happen to see some other families there at the same time, please remain socially distanced, but say hi. One last announcement. We are beginning our Kehila program. It's an annual program going on, and it starts this Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. via Zoom with a 1-hour presentation and conversation on overcoming our blind spots. We will look at our perceived limits and how we can overcome them. The programming this year includes events on Jewish music, meditation, spirituality, and innovative holiday celebrations. We hope that you join us. Again, Shana Tova. May this new year be one of health and happiness, and also produce a vaccine that's effective. Thank you. Shana Tova.
Thank you so much, Carol, for all you do. I'm in awe. Cantor and I, Jeffrey and I, all of us are so grateful for making everything that we've been doing so seemingly so seamless, and we appreciate it. Friends, I want to add one additional announcement, and this is from Kathy Penzo and the Social Justice Committee, our Tikkun Olam Committee, and it's about voting. Voting is our right and responsibility. And Temple Akiba's goal is to have 100% of our members vote. Every member will be emailed a digital pledge to vote, along with a digital pledge card to vote, along with other important information. We really hope that you take a few moments to fill it out and return it. On Tuesday, October 6th at 7 p.m., the Religious Action Center of Reform Judaism will be holding a forum on Proposition 15, Schools and Communities First. Please watch for the information in the weekly e-news to register for this very important event. We really want everyone to engage in your opportunity, your right, your responsibility to vote. I'm always reminded of my grandpa Phil, may he rest in peace, who would say to us that his father never had the opportunity to vote in Russia, and it's something that we should never take for granted. So we hope that everyone will participate in this, and please go and vote, not just in the presidential November election, but in the local ones as well. We're going to continue now on page 28, and we have Randy Bischoff, our head director of education, who will be doing another blessing for us with regard to our apples.
Shana Tova, everyone.
Shana Tova.
The most well-known of the symbolic Rosh Hashanah foods, the apple dipped in honey, is common in Ashkenazic traditions. The Iraqi custom, for comparison's sake, is to eat a baked apple with sugar, while in Yemen, quinces were served instead of apples. In all variations, these foods represent the wish for a sweet year to come. The sage of Hafetz Haim reminds us that the sweetness should be reflected in our mood too. Avoid anger, for it is a bad omen for the coming year. Rather, we should be sweet of temperament on Rosh Hashanah. Yehi ratzon milfanecha, Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu, shetadesh aleinu shana tova umetuka. May it be your will, Adonai our God, to renew us for a good and a sweet new year.
Thank you so much, Randy and Scott. It's good to see you as well. As Carol was saying, tomorrow morning between the services, between 10 and 10:30, there's going to be breakout Zoom rooms. And that's going to help deepen our community. We'll be able to have smaller group conversations and fill that void that so many of us feel when we're not together like this. Before our closing song, I'd like everyone to take a moment, once again, close your eyes and think about the people who in generations past were sitting to your left and sitting to your right. Think about the smells that they produce when cooking your meal for Rosh Hashanah. Think about the china or even the spoon that they use to serve the honey. The sounds of the music and the voices. While it may be melancholy, please remember this. Today we are here as descendants, but someday we will be ancestors, and people will look to how we inspire them through our carrying the torch, Lador Vador, generation to generation. Let's take one more moment silently. We're going to close the way we have been closing Rosh Hashanah evening services for a few years now. The way we close every day of religious school and of Akiba day camp and Akiba resident camp and so many of our programs, asking for God's shelter and loving embrace on each and every soul. Aliyah? Everyone, Shana Tova. Aaliyah, thank you so much for the beautiful music. Cantor, Craig and Monique, Carol Diamond. We wish you all a sweet, a healthy, a vibrant new year. Let's enter this with such positive thoughts, and our journey over these next 10 days will be filled with holiness and with lots of love. We miss you. We really miss you. But we love this opportunity to have something a little bit out of the box tonight. Please join us for our services and our programs over these next days. And we're sending you all our love. Shana Tova, everyone.
Shana Tova.